Yeah, we'll have to think through this. Are we live on YouTube? Let me check. Yes. So, my conundrum. If we make it so... Welcome, YouTube stream, by the way. Welcome. We're talking about game design. My conundrum... So, right now, the current system is you have to reach a certain amount of quota, of item quota, feed the fuel in the engine to dock at the station. Right? And this resets every time you reach a station. Good, Golden. So right now, it's just a static value. It's 70. So you need 70 burn fuel or burn value from all the items that you feed into the engine every route. The idea is instead we split it up into thirds. Or we don't split it up into thirds. We just make it so you have to reach this value by the third station. So you're like working your way up, basically like Lethal Company, and then you can dock at the station whenever you want to. The only problem now, though, is the maintenance tasks don't really provide any value. Because you're not going to really, you don't really need to give a shit about these until you're at like the last route, right? The last, when you're on your like final station dock before the quota deadline, before the deadline comes up. So if we do this system where we split it up, I think what we'd have to do is change how the maintenance tasks impact the train. One option I'm thinking of is we can make it so if we could have like a threshold. If the maintenance tasks reaches this threshold, then your overall fuel will slowly start going down. Almost like the train isn't running as efficiently anymore. And then that eats away at all the hard work that you did. That could be one way of going about it. That could be one way of going about that if you change that up to be more like that. It does make it so players have a little bit more control themselves in terms of how they want to confront each route. But that being said, it does make it so you can just ignore the maintenance tasks more. Which I guess you could ignore it up until you reach the threshold. And then the threshold starts eating away at your quota. And I guess a tactic would be like, feed it as much as you can, ignore the maintenance tasks, and then leave as soon as possible. But then that means that... yeah. So the quota is still the fuel. If you don't meet the quota, your train stops in the middle of the tracks and you just get eaten by monsters and die. That means, however, that there is a time limit associated. That does mean that there's a time limit associated. Which we currently don't have anymore, right? We removed the whole time limit system. But I do think we want a time limit. I think that would be a good idea. I think even Lethal Company has a time limit. I don't know how long that time limit is. If I remember correctly, if you don't... the time limit is that the ship just flies away, I think, if I remember correctly. So it could just be good to put a time limit. And we could say that the train is already fueled up. You adding fuel capacity is for the next route. Ah. Aha. So the fuel is already there to get to the next station. It's just on a basis of fueling up for the next route. Aha. Yes. Okay, things are coming together. Things are coming together. Where the hell? What up, Jovix? Excuse me? Wah! So we have a few options in terms of how we want to go about doing this. You should make it so even if the fuel is at half, if it's not full, not all of the electronics would work. Well, the fuel is completely, it's done very differently now, so I don't know if I would make it so the electronics just start breaking more often. I also don't want to overcomplicate the game a little bit too much either. But that being said, I don't think we're overcomplicating it. If anything, it's too simple at the moment. There's not much to the game at the moment, realistically thinking. I don't think it's necessarily overscoping or making it more complicated. If anything, Lethal Company could be considered, well, I wouldn't say it's considered complicated, but Ow. Okay. God, I can't wait to make it so if you hit your head, you just go unconscious. And then plays a big dong noise. That's a core gameplay mechanic. We need to put that on the top of the list. Hitting your head into metal and only hitting your head. Which, either way, that has to be mechanic because when you hit your head in a thing over top that runs by very quickly, we're going to have to put a system there anyways. So if anything, this will work in tandem with that mechanic that we put in. Yes. Yes, very good. Spent this whole day looking at CS2 cache rework and Hammer. It's very interesting how they built it. Did they rebuild cache again? For this third fucking time? I still remember when they like redesigned it for CSGO. It's on its 4th version now? I liked the OG cache. Can I be real? When they did the first visual rework, don't get me wrong, it looked nice, but it was harder to read literally anything. It was harder to just like see where enemies were and stuff. Don't get me wrong, the new maps look fantastic visually. I just don't think they play very well from a... Same thing's happening to Deadlock. I absolutely love the visuals of Deadlock, but I feel like as they make the environment more and more complex, it's like harder to like make out elements in the environment. It becomes too noisy, I feel like. Am I just... Do I have to get glasses? In-game glasses? I think it kind of nailed it this time around. Plays almost exactly the same as the OG version. I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out then. Now, Valve has incredible artists. It's just, when it comes to, like, designing competitive game environments, I feel like you gotta kind of... You gotta treat it a little differently. I got 3 coffees. What am I, a fucking cafe? What the hell? Okay. Why do I have 3 coffee cups? Ew, green. Ew, green. Who's leaving all this coffee around? The, passengers. Who I have not seen as of yet. Should we add like a leaning like a little leaning system? How many FPS do I have and on what GPU? I haven't done too much I haven't done like a crazy amount of optimization. We're at 120 FPS in the game. Our max render resolution, by the way, is 70% in this game because I feel like it just works better visually for this type of game. Does standalone testing versus package build testing vary a lot in performance? I would say yeah, because you still have Unreal open, which I feel like would impact your testing. I feel like that would impact your testing quite a bit. I don't think a friendslop game needs leaning. I feel like it would be kind of nice, like a slight lean, like a very slight lean. Because I find myself, like, looking around corners to see where monsters are sometimes. We're so fucked. Oh, I'm full. If the monsters become dangerous, then yeah, maybe. Well, you know, the idea is, yes, they would become dangerous. They would be dangerous. I feel like Amnesia had leaning. Did it not? Didn't Repo have leaning? I don't know. I didn't know. Bomb. All right. We're feeding coffee to the thing. But you see what I mean? Like, we went through almost the entire train. I feel like by making it so it's not every route that you need to feed the fuel, but it's like in chunks. You can do 3 different routes. I feel like that would play better. It also gives more control to the players. Like, they can leave when they want to, rather than being tied to this, to this, I guess. They get a little bit more freedom. But then we need to do something with the maintenance system for that. I feel like there should be more stuff on the train than there is. Possibly. You shouldn't also make it too easy. True, for sure. I do feel like we are starting to have more of the game together, though. It's starting to feel more... It is definitely starting to feel a little bit more... like a package. It's still a taster, but we're getting close to some sort of package, which is good. If we do the 3-route system, we should change the maintenance tasks to then instead start eating away at the fuel. I feel like that would work better. Here it is, Auntie. How's it going? I drop in here every once in a while. I can definitely see it coming together. It's getting there. I think we're getting into like the big ticket tasks now, where it's like the entire game mode as a whole is you know, we're looking at it and determining what kind of game design stuff we can do to really make it feel like a put together, without making it too overcomplicated, of course, without making it too overcomplicated, trying to yeah. Tube system makes it feel like there should be a pile of stuff forming in the engine. What do you mean by a pile of stuff? Like, the idea is with the tube system, we haven't implemented that yet, right? But the idea would be like there'd be a bunch of shit right here. As players use it more, like there'd be items like underneath here, kind of creating a pile. Yeah, exactly. Items from the other cabins, definitely, yeah. Get in the engine, rat. Thank you. Time to get in. It sounds so... it's so demotivated. Big fan. Big fan of the rats now. The rats now really are, yeah, they're good. Real good. Maybe they should shit on the floors too or something. I don't know. That could be funny. Get in! Get in! Alright. Yeah, I do think we could still do more with the quota. And I think we can make it so the players should be able to push the button whenever they want to. There should be like a 2-minute cooldown though. What else is needed for the playtest? This I think is okay where it's at for the playtest. Although I would like to change it more. I would like to change it a little bit more. What we do need, though, I think are mostly... So the quota system's okay. We have one more maintenance task we'd like to do, although it's like not... I think we should have more than this, to be honest. But I think we can make do for now, for our first kind of like very basic playtest. That being said, I think we do need more variants in train cars. So, you know what that means. You know what that means. Yep, it's more modeling time, more level design time. I'd like to do that, Nicholas, definitely. Like a teleporter, doing little things in a run where you can like purchase shit. I feel like that's very roguelike. I think definitely. I think treating the game like a roguelike, a multiplayer co-op roguelike, is a good idea. Even though the goal is for friends to have fun with each other, they can fuck with each other, I think at the end of the day, it's a roguelike, right? It's a horror roguelike. Surely we could just reverse the tubes and jump in them. An upgrade where you can send yourself through a tube. We can call the upgrade tubeflation. Tubeflation. I had a hair in my mouth. It caused me to go crazy. We need to work on more cars. Yeah. Are you thinking of permanent upgrades or just for the run? So permanent progression is going to be more so in the form of cosmetics and then unlocking parts of stations. So as you do runs, you'll find things at stations that can be unlocked by like using items. So an example of that we've been talking a lot of, in the first station, there is a container in the back here. I'm going to make it so this has a lock on it, and that you'll be able to break the lock if you have bolt cutters. And then the bolt cutters will unlock. In here, there'll be random items. So every run, you can keep unlocking this, get extra items, which I think will be cool. And then additionally, I'd like to add like a key in here, and then that key could permanently unlock maybe the garage, for example. And then that garage is then unlocked. You don't necessarily need to get this again. The garage is now unlocked. And then maybe there's items in the garage or some sort of stuff that you could do in the garage. Maybe the garage is where you unlock like being able to add permanent upgrades to the train. I don't know. Little things like that could be kind of cool. That's what I'd like to do as like some sort of like permanent progression, is like add some kind of like blueprints style, like as you start discovering more of the game and exploring, there's a lot more like stuff in the stations that you can do. It unlocks like more mini games, you know, little shit like that. I think would be really cool. Any thoughts on difficulty scaling that isn't playing monsters see/hear you from further away? So I'm thinking every route you start going into more dangerous environments. And then another thing is more dangerous cars start appearing. So one of the dangerous cars is a nuclear bomb. So a whole ass train car will be dedicated to like a nuclear bomb plant that you have to like manage once in a while. And if you don't manage it, it could explode and then your entire run is over. So we'll go into territories like that, and then certain cars will then start spawning specific monsters that have different behaviors. So I think there's a good, beyond just, oh, the monster sees you from farther away, blah, blah, blah. I think we have some pretty cool ideas that I think, like, we'll have, I think, a good plan for new content to put in the game and stuff, you know what I mean? I think that'll be cool. So more dangerous cars will start spawning. Like, for example, the kitchen might not appear in your first few runs, but then it'll appear, and then the chef spawns, and then a chef grabs onto you, turns you into a hot dog, you know, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the environmental hazards. There'd be things like acid rain. You go through like the tundra, and then things get snowy, and then you can freeze to death. You know what I mean? Things like that I think will be really cool. And it'll add quite a bit to the game. Okay, I'm thinking of doing something here. I hate how flat this is. I'm going to extrude this. I know this is kind of useless, so we don't really need to do this right now. I'm going to do it right now because I can. Does that automatically make a trim for this? Hoop first try? No, I don't think it'll be a first try. You think so? Hold on, I'm hot spotting. I'm hot spotting. Hold on, I'm hot spotting. I would say yes, but if there's a prediction, I'd say no. That's crazy. You're just full on no on your prediction. Not even a little bit of faith. Not even a little bit of faith in your streamer. Insane. What is this bounding box that appears? Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, anyways, extrude this. Actually, extrude all of these. Can we do that? Are those Ronin assets? I think we have other Ronin assets in here. We do have some assets that I'm pretty sure are from Ronin, but not these, not those specifically. What the hell? Oh my god, it's not cut in the middle here? Doesn't make any sense. Is it really the Z? That doesn't make any sense. Why is it blue? Huh? We do have some Ronin assets here and there, though. We do. All of my games are just put like it. They're all together. They're all one big happy family, you know? They're all one big happy family. Nice. I like this little extrusion. It breaks up the geometry because it's too flat at the moment, which I think we need this. This is necessary. This is very necessary. What are you doing, Ari? Who decided to make UV unwrapping and placing seems so boring? Dude, it's so, like, chill, though. It's so chill. UV unwrapping is so chill. It's like doing a little mini puzzle. I love it. I love it. Uh-oh. Guys. Raise the volume. Someone raise the volume. Raise the volume. Banger alert. Raise the volume. The little 30,000 polygon puzzle. Okay, the moments where it sucks is when you're doing like a hard surface like gun, where you have like 5 million fucking pieces. Well, who thought of that? Which dumbass thought of doing that? Yes, look at that, man. Look at the... Look at that, man. Oh, yes. Not look at that man, but look at this, man. Look at this, comma, man. It looks stretched. That's because it is. We need a new trim. Because this is not very good for... Like, this is like a generic trim, but we definitely need a larger trim for these concrete areas. Yeah. Admittedly, it's a bit not good. Yeah. Am I still working on Suit for Hire? I will be. I'll be working on a DLC and a big update that will probably be released for free. I'm still just planning all of that. I'm planning out the DLC, what's going to be in it and whatnot, and how we're going to end up doing that. So, still working through the details. I really like this shaded unlit, by the way. It's like unlit, but better unlit. Very nice. Am I going to be doing it on stream? I think I'm going to be doing it on weekends. I'm not sure if I'll be doing it on stream. We shall see. We shall see. Where's extrude? Hello? Am I crazy? Clean, edit, inset, push/pull, subdivide, offset. Guys, I'm fucking crazy. Where is extrude? No, there's no way it was right there. That's bullshit. I ain't taking this slander. You are crazy? This is slander. How dare you? That's bullshit. You were literally hovering over it? No, no way. I'm not accepting this. A friendslop about Gen Z mobs raiding the building of cult? Do you mean the whole thing that's going on with the Scientology building where they just keep raiding the Scientology building? I think that's the funniest shit, by the way. I think that's the funniest shit. What did I miss? There's like so many like TikToks now where like kids are going in and running into the Scientology building. They're just running in and they're trying to get as far as they can and then they just record it. And it's like kids running into the back rooms but of the Scientology building. It's pretty funny. I got to say, it's pretty funny. They removed the door handles to the building, thinking that's going to stop kids. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. If there is a will, there is a way. I just think that's the funniest shit ever. Someone could make that game. I'm just saying. You gotta... The friendslop game. You run into a cult building, and you have to take as many pictures as you can before you get kicked out. And then you have a quota of how much shit you gotta take pictures of. Ah. Huh? You're hired by Anonymous or some shit. I don't know. Some sort of organization. Someone can make that game. You might make a few $1,000s. I don't know. I'm making shit up. It's already done on Roblox? What the fuck? Roblox? Of course they would steal my idea before I had the idea. The Roblox devs do not mess around. The map is surprisingly accurate to the discovered rooms so far. Are they just updating it every single time new information comes out? Guys, room 2B just fucking... We just saw what room 2B is. Adds a few chairs. It's fucking white walls all over the place. There's like a painting of like random thing. Duh! Okay, but listen. It's done on Roblox, but make your own custom game. And then you get power-ups. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a bit of a game designer. So people have already asked this, but have I looked into Sandbox? I haven't like tried it out myself. I'm sure it's cool, but I'm not going to invest any time into it. Yeah. I don't really care too much for it. Hey, Corrado, how's it going? Is anybody considering Sandbox? I don't know. I'm not trying to stop anybody else from trying to get into it. It's just for me, I just don't really care much for it. I'd rather invest my time into learning more stuff in Unreal and learning C++ and learning gameplay ability system, learning multiplayer in here. I just prefer that. I have more control over the stuff that I create. I think it's just cool. You can export games and sell them royalty free. As far as I know, right now, the worst part about that, currently, the way it's worded is you can only export games to Steam. That's it. If you suddenly wanted to release your game on any sort of other platform, you would probably have to go through some sort of custom talks with Valve themselves or through Facepunch. That just does not... I don't know. I just don't care for that. Probably will stay Steam exclusive. Yeah. And like, obviously, you can get a lot out of at least releasing on Steam. Don't get me wrong. I think that's amazing on its own already. I just like having at least a little bit of distribution control. According to a few friends, it performs terribly. From what I've seen from some of the negative reviews, that seems to be the one main issue. But the thing is, that's also the problem with making a game engine. If that shit is not over optimized to the point where things run perfectly no matter what, you can spawn like 1,000 objects, whatever. If it doesn't run like that and you only spawn like 10 objects and then things are fucked, people are going to say it's bad optimization. But in reality, it's just them fucking up their scene. The casual audience is not built for... it's not built for a thing like that, I feel like. Unless it's like the performance is bad, even on just the standard of just a game engine in general. Which then, okay, completely valid. But I saw someone... I saw Forsen crash his entire game by spawning like 10 meese. Moose? 10 moose? 10 meese? 10 mooses. 10 animals. Like his entire game crashed. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough. But for me, I don't know. It's cool. What was the other game that is like I think it's a friendslop game as well that's being released using Sandbox? What was the game called? I know there was one game that they announced. Is it on my wish list? I think it might be on my wish list. It is not on my wish list. Is it on my wish list? No, it's not. Is it? No, it's not. What is the game? The first game that was announced. Oh, My Summer Cottage. Yeah. This is like the first game that's using the Sandbox as an engine and exporting. Yes, I remember now. Yeah. It's cool. Finland slop, real. How's Terra Factor doing? 35 reviews, very cool. Cool, man. Good for Randy. Oh, you can play it on Sandbox right now, but it needs a lot of work. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to see more games like Infra? What is Infra? 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 Oh. What is this? It's kind of cool looking. What is this? What is this game? I can't even tell what this is. What's structural? It's made with Hammer Editor. Well, only the levels, I would assume, are made with Hammer, right? Because it's just a level editor. What's it actually made in? Feature list. Is this new? Is the feature list like a different section now? Interesting. I don't remember this being a thing. Our current structure for our Steam page, it is it looks like a job application. It looks like a job listing. The current Steam page, how I have the description set up, it basically looks like a job. It's a single-player adventure game developed using the Portal 2 engine branch with some CS:GO. And interesting. Ah. It's like an immersive sim. An immersive sim. So I'm learning immersive sim is like, I guess Train Rot, the game that we're currently working on, is kind of an immersive sim in some way. It's kind of an im-sim. Im-sim? Immersive sim? Im-sim? Your Crim, it's 3 years old, but it's sandbox still. What the hell? I feel like the thing is, people saying that they got access to Source 2, I feel like it's so incorrect. Go to 444. What is 444? What is at 444? What's an immersive sim? I don't know. I just learned about this term. I feel like I've seen this video. Have I seen this video? Yeah, I think I've seen this video a long time ago. I think I have seen this video. Yeah. 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 It's choice games. I don't know if an immersive sim is a choice game. I feel like immersive sim, I always see that in conjunction with games where it's like physics based. Like you can carry shit, like almost like Amnesia a little bit. That's what Wikipedia says. What is an ImSim? An immersive simulation is a video game design philosophy prioritizing player agency, complex systems, and emergent gameplay, allowing varied solutions to problems rather than scripted paths. Huh. I hate AI, by the way. I admit I've been using a lot of the Google AI overview sometimes, and I hate it. I hate that I'm doing this. It's odd that people ran with the Source 2 thing so much. Marketing. Cringe marketing. These games create a believable, interactable world where systems, physics, AI, elements interact, empowering players to use creativity, stealth, or combat to achieve goals. I see. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, look, we have the about this page is basically like I'm very proud of this because I think it's fun. It's like a job application. I wish I could change the about this game to be different text, but now that I saw that one page though, I guess you can, seeing that there's a feature list section, I'm pretty sure this is custom. I don't think there's an actual feature list setting on Steamworks. And this is an old game, is it not? 2016. Yeah, what the fuck? Anyways. Yeah, I think it's fun. All of these little things are, for the most part, actually integral to like showing what the features of the game are, but they're kind of they're masked, like they're you know, like responsibilities or whatever for like a job. Except for this one, must be at least blah 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 years old. That one's just the fluff. Anyway, anywho, what are we on right now? I think we just added some little extrusions on the mesh, which look good. Don't get me wrong, they look good. They look very good. They make it a little bit more broken up. New train cars, true. I think, yeah. Next steps is new train cars, but I also want to get this one task out of the way, the monitor panel showing icons for the different types of tasks. I want to see if we can get that done today as well. You need some locked apartments in the trains? Oh, that could be sick. And then you gotta like open them up somehow to gain access to them. That's true. True. That'd be great. Yeah. You might be onto something. Okay. All right. The icons. So the idea is every time something breaks in a car, when it appears on the screen, right now, currently, we just color the car as red. What we want to do is we're going to make it so little icons appear either inside or underneath. Showing what the kind of faults are, if it's electricity or if it's like a pipe bursting or some sort of like environmental hazard like rats, blue pixel. That's the idea. And on top of that, we want to make the ones that don't affect the quota a different color rather than red. Now, unfortunately, we've already used orange as our main color here. So, what would be the secondary color to show that there's something wrong, but it's not like, yeah. Orange / yellow is already taken up, which doesn't help us because I would have used orange. I can use a different shade of orange. Like a in between red and orange. Yeah, like a deep orange. Yeah. Yeah. Could do that. I was thinking green, but green doesn't really make sense. I'm starting to think we just make the default color for the cars green. Let's see if I remember how to get to this thing. Core, UI, control panels. Aha! Car instance. Yes. I found it. Now, we change the color of everything in here to green. Whoops. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it does look okay. It looks okay. I don't know. Yeah, orange feels more in line with the vibe, I feel like. It's not horrible with this tone of green. Like, it's not horrendous by any means. I do like it more with the orange, but let it sit and bake in your eyes. Yeah, I don't know. 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 Yeah, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Yeah, you know, I just, yeah, you know, I just, you know, yeah, just, you know, yeah, you know. You know, I just kind of, you know, I just, yeah, I don't know. By the way, we need more computer interaction stuff because I think this stuff is cool as fuck. I think it's cool as hell. Having more stuff where you have to interact with the screens and stuff, I think would be super sick. The last screen was kind of good. I think it was onto something. Maybe we just need to be very careful with the shade of green that we want. Let's do 80 as the hue value. And let's try 80 as the hue. I do like the deep orange though. It does give it a very retro vibe. It does look nice from afar. Okay. Sure. Huh. Change the outline color if something's wrong. Yeah, that's basically what it's doing. Although, I think it's changing the overlay color, not changing the actual color. Let's see what that looks like now, because it's a little different. Oh, looks okay, actually. Wait. Well, here it's white, so it's definitely not using orange as the color. Set to maintenance state. Oh, it's setting the color and opacity of the entire widget. And has problem is a true or false statement. Shit. So, this needs to be an integer or a byte. It could be a byte. 0 means no problems. 1 means warning. There's something wrong, but it's not affecting the thing. 2 could mean big problem. Problem has been found. Okay. Can we do a select on a byte, though? All right, let's find all the references to this. Set maintenance state. Where is this being done? I think this is being done inside of the main computer thingy. Not in the instance, but the actual main widget. Yes. That's it. That's it. That's it. Shit. The task type needs to dictate the kind of byte it is. Uh-oh. This is this is gonna get pretty gnarly. So if the byte is currently 1, that means there's an issue, but it's not a detrimental issue. That being said, if there is a task that has 2, then the thing should be overwritten. So we have to keep track of what the thing is, and then if it, yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna puke. Okay, so first off, big thing, has problem, turn it into a byte. Do a new select. Go in here. 0 is white. Red is 2, and then for the middle grade one, we'll do some sort of orange, I think. We'll see how that works out. And then we can rename this to train state. Or train issue state. Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. It automatically added a make literal bool. That is kind of cool. That's kind of sick. Then we're going to promote this to a variable that we want to keep in the entire thing. We'll call this the issue state. Now you're probably saying this should be an enum. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, probably, but whatever. We could put the thing in here where we check if the issue state is higher. So we should put a boolean in here called override. If it is override, then go ahead and do the thing. Otherwise, if it's not override, train issue states, I'm going to put this here. Then it should read the current issue state. And if the train issue state is more than the current issue state, then go ahead and do the thing. All right. Now we're coding. I'm a bit of a coder. So this will not be override. This will be override because we want to reset it back down to 0. Anvar, how's it going? So then the issue state here, we have to do a select here. This is stupid. This is stupid, I will admit. Toilet clog is 2, steam leak is 2, gear arrangement, this is 2, ventilation overheating, I think is 1. We need to find a better way of doing this because this is not very good. Because now I have to go to the game state to determine each little thing. So we should do this somewhere else. This should probably be done somewhere else. Yeah. Where do we do this? Ah, calculate negative quota. So everything minuses out up to window cleaning. And then window cleaning would just be 1. Okay, actually nuclear bomb would be 2. That is extremely important. In fact, this should be a whole different color. Yeah, the things that could literally kill the run should be a whole different color. Am I writing almost all of my code in one class? No, no, no. The game state does a lot because this is replicated to all clients when they join in. But this is mostly just for the game mode. So basically this will keep track of all the game mode stuff. What's going on on the train, etc. But no, it's not all in one class. It's just whatever needs to be joined. Things like how much currency is in the run. That kind of stuff. Okay. This should now change the color whenever something goes wrong. Let's see. Let's speed it up. So red will be something detrimental. And then orange should be great. Power going out. Whoa! What was that noise? It played twice. Okay, this is a joke. Is this funny to you? Almost all of the cars currently have a red on them right now. All right. Yeah. I'm here. Don't you worry. Let's fix this so that it can't. And then fix this. So if it chooses to break something, it maybe won't be the power. Okay, we got a steam. What is it that doesn't eat? That only would be a warning rather than... I think it would be window cleaning. I think window cleaning would be the only one right now that can be selected to be the other color. That being said, train car 2 and 3 have issues. So let's go fix them real quick. Also, the flatbed needs some maintenance tasks. There's no maintenance tasks in here. Oh, this can only have... Oh. see if we can see any warning stuff. It would have to be a window that needs to be cleaned to then turn it orange. Yeah, all right. I think we need more tasks that don't necessarily impact the quota. We need more tasks like that, I think. Okay, everything's green except for car 3. I like it being green. I gotta say, I do think I like it being green. I did like the orange look because it was very retro. This feels more... oh, great, a rat infestation. That's a red. Ah, great. What kind of moment would I need to use at enums? Just if I need some list of options to pick? Basically, yeah. Options, list. You can technically still use an integer or a byte, but an enum is a good way as a developer to kind of know what you're doing. Like, you can technically just do it as an enum or a byte, right? Only problem with that is, of course, you might not know what you're doing. So, or the other developers on the team might not know what you're doing. So an enum is just a little bit easier to read. Is that it? There's only 3 rats? That's not right. There's gotta be more rats in here. You only spawned 3 rats? Unless the rats are outside. Did anybody end up on the outside of the train? No. Oh. Oh, you're in the corner, huh? Hiding from me. Alright, anything orange. Please. Did I not spawn a car? Is the car that gets dirty windows not spawned in here? Yeah, it literally... Oh, shit. It's because the power is out. And the toilet's clogged. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna just reset because I can't be bothered. Let me check this one. Okay, we got this car, we got this one, and we got that one. Okay, so we can speed up time. How are there already rats in here? Someone explain to me, how are there rats in here already? I just need to see one of these turn orange. Yes! Ah, so now we got green, orange, red. Let's take a screenshot of this real quick so I can see what the hell's going on. I feel like yellow is really close to green. Like, it's really close. I guess the thing that will make it stand out is there'll be an icon associated with that car. Right? So that will help as well. Having that icon, I think, will help. We need a longer cooldown on the electricity going out in the main engine, please. This shit's ridiculous. Is it the rats cutting the wires, man? What's going on?
Rat, I am a rat.
Get over here. When do we need to use gameplay tags, though? For me, enums and gameplay tags feel kind of similar. What's the actual difference? Enums are good when the state of something can only be in one state at a time. Gameplay tags can technically do the same thing to some extent. However, gameplay tags... I would say the difference is the use cases, I would say. Because with gameplay tags, you can use a container. They can have multiple states on something at once. There's probably a different memory cost to something having an enum, being an enum versus something being a gameplay tag. I wonder how much that would actually cost, though. Because an enum is technically just a byte. As far as I know. I like to add as far as I know, because I'm never like 100% certain on any sort of programming philosophy. And I refuse to be 100% certain on anything. I would say it's just the use case. I think you'll be using a mix of the two. Gameplay tags are just F names underneath. Enums could be anything from bytes to ints, depending on what they extend from. I thought an enum was... Oh, I guess an enum could be an int, can it? I thought enums were always just bytes. Like, they have a limited amount of inputs that they could have. Since they're a byte. I guess you could create them as an integer, can you? Can you? Wait, can you set an enum to be an integer in C++? Do I have an enum in here? I don't know if I even have an enum in here. I haven't been using a lot of enums in this project. Here. Oh, you can. That's true. True. uint8 is a byte, though, isn't it? You can use uint32 if you need more than 255 enums. Interesting. But I think the difference is that you can only use uint32 in C++, right? You'd have to do some sort of like conversion to read it in Blueprint. Because I've noticed certain things read can be done in Blueprint and certain things don't convert to Blueprint. And I think uint32 was one of those examples. Or was it? Was it uint32? There was some int variable that was like not usable in Blueprint that I remember coming across. But yeah, I think it's just a case of like, okay, which path do you want to go with? Because gameplay tags are global. Sometimes you just kind of just want an enum for something. Yeah, I feel like it's a use case kind of thing. All right, cool. Now we got to get the icons in. Can I just take 1 second? I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hello, I return. I guess C++ always has more options and flexibility than blueprints, but I'm completely sure that we can make smaller medium games with just blueprints. I think it's good to have a little bit of C++, especially in UE5, if you're using UE5. Just because of how volatile blueprint structs are. I feel like they just fucking break so much shit sometimes when you're like changing them mid-project. So I feel like that should just be the bare minimum at the very least. But you can do a lot with blueprints. Like Suit for Hire, the game here that I made in UE4, like 99% of it is in Blueprint. There's a little bit of C++ because some things I just I literally could not do in Blueprint. Some stuff was not exposed, so I had to make functions for it. But a lot of the game is done in Blueprint. If you don't put anything after the enum, it's an integer by default. Really interesting. Interesting. Hold on, let me eat some of this bar. Damn. Am I making all the games solo? I do a lot myself, but I wouldn't say I'm solo. That would be disingenuous. And I bet you I bet you there's a large portion of developers online that are saying they're solo, but realistically they're not solo. Like no disrespect to the developer of Road to Vostok. I understand he's doing a lot of stuff himself, but he does have contractors. And in my opinion, once you start having contractors and stuff like that, I wouldn't say you're solo anymore. I feel like it's very, very disingenuous to say that you're solo at that point. Is using an engine considered solo or already not solo? I think you can still be solo using an engine. I feel like you can still be solo, even with that as a factor. If you use a computer, are you solo or not solo? Well, I built my own computer, actually. I may have not built the chips in it. So I think for Blueprint, you can use any enum type. It converts it with the T enum as byte. You need to add, I guess. Interesting. But then T enum as byte. Let's say magically, for some fucking reason, you have 257 enum inputs. If you convert T enum as byte, how do you read value 257 in Blueprint? Would it even work? Either way, you got other problems if you have an enum with 256 inputs. Let's just be real. You have other problems. There are other issues at hand. If you have an enum with that much input. Yeah. I don't know. I think the solo title is a bit disingenuous to some extent. Like, even in the perspective of, now I'm sure the developer of Stardew Valley did a lot himself, but still, I wouldn't call him a solo developer either. Because wasn't there stories where like his partner, like, financially supported him for like a long period of time so he could work on the game? But then I think he still ended up having to get a job afterward. In my opinion, I don't call that a solo endeavor, in my opinion. Because there's someone supporting you financially to get you through development. And I think that there's value there that shouldn't be ignored. If I remember correctly, Blueprint Callable has to be a uint 8, otherwise it just doesn't build. Yeah, I can imagine. If you have full 256 enum in use, that means something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong in the design, in my opinion. I don't think I've ever had an enum go above like 32 inputs. And that's not me doing it. That's, I think, the physics system, I believe, uses an enum. So it's not even my own enum. It's this whole thing here, I'm pretty sure. What is this? It only has 62 types. I'm pretty sure this is a enum. This whole thing here. The physical surface. All right. I'm re-energized. What? How is there already a fault in car 3? We literally just started the game. It instantly assigned a rat infestation in car 3. Instantly. Bye-bye. Oh, how do I get rid of these fucks? Oh, God. Yeah. Hold on. Goodbye. We have a problem. That is the problem. We need a way to be able to grab the rats or kill them quicker. Get over here. Yeah. Get in. Get in here. A stomp ability, a big shoe. We should have a kick button. We should have a kick button. What do you think about the amount of functions in one Blueprint interface? AI says that usually people use max 10 functions or 15 per one Blueprint interface. I just follow kind of the rule of only put functions in an interface that matches the interface's function. Don't just suddenly put functions in one Blueprint interface that don't make sense to the context. It's like the same kind of ideology that a function only does what the function says it should do and does not go beyond. Like if it says get certain value, it should not do any sort of setting values in that thing, right? Which I think is like an ideology that like that's an ideology that, damn, he's fucking creepy. Okay, he's kind of creepy now. He do be creepy now. What was I saying? It's an ideology that, what's the guy at id Software? What's his name? John Carmack? Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good ideology, is like... I separate them by the context of the modular system. Yeah, I think that would be a good ideology. Like, don't only keep it within the confines of what it's trying to be. I also think, I get it. I understand the use of interfaces. But I feel like in the public, when it comes to them... Stop getting in here, man. Ow. Youch! I feel like people use interfaces. I understand that people don't want to have any sort of memory cost with casting, but I feel like sometimes it's a little overused, in my opinion. Sometimes I feel like it's misused just for the sake of dodging a cast, when it's like, oh, I'm casting to the player character. It's like, dude, the player character is already loaded into memory. It's fine. You have that fucker loaded 24/7 anyways. Well, maybe in certain games it's not, but... Plane Shift, thank you for the raid. How are you doing, man? Somebody said never use cast. Yeah, I just think that's not good. That's not a good way of teaching. It's like saying don't use tick. It's like, brother, you need to use tick for certain things. What do you mean? You're gonna have to use tick for literally any sort of interpolation. What do you mean don't use tick? So that's that's one of my problems with... We really do need to change falling off the train. We need to make it so that whole mini game starts where you gotta like climb back up. That's diabolical. Yeah, how are you doing, Plane? Hope your stream was good. We're talking about how, or I guess basically the overall subject right now is, I feel like there's too many things being taught publicly in the space that I think is incorrect. Like, don't use tick, don't use cast. I think what should be taught is, what do those things cause? Like, what kind of problems are caused by using those? Right? That should be what should be taught, not don't use cast. Dying in your own game, I'm disappointed. Listen, man, you can fall off the train really easily, and then you die. It's unfortunate. It's a system that needs changing. What the... Did the werewolf see me? Which is why he was running slightly faster? We do really need like music and like ambience and like little cues when you see a monster, like little things happen. We do need that stuff. I feel like that's so integral to the horror vibe. Where are the footsteps? I know there's a guy underneath me, but... Sounds like he's running. Did you use them as a common way to call functions like add widget or remove widget for communication between blueprints and having substances? And advantage badges are the way to go, in my opinion. I think it's nice when you have, yeah, like Like, let's say you have a bunch of different elements that are on the HUD, and you want a way to remove them in a way that, like, each one does, like, custom stuff when they're removed. I feel like that's a good way of using interfaces. Not necessarily as a way to avoid casting, in my opinion. I think... Yes, I understand the cost of casting, which is memory. Things have to be loaded in 24/7. That should be the thing that should be taught, is... Casting requires that object to be loaded at all times, which might not be very good for you. Which is why you use an interface instead. Or the interface should be a way to create a function that can be reused. I don't think... Okay. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah, alright. It should be a way to be able to reuse a function that will... be called for different object types that do slightly different things. Like, for example, an interaction system. If I interact with a door, it will be different if I interact with, like, a button. So, I don't know. My opinion, I think, after reading enough Reddit posts and using UE Unreal Engine for, like, 12 something years, there's way too much fucking noise out there. Really bad noise. Very bad noise. Very bad information being spread. Who knows, maybe I'm also spreading bad information. Make those floor pieces fall in random order would be more challenging and interesting. Floor pieces? Oh, you mean like the outside? That's a good idea. There should be little platforming challenges on the outside. That's actually are you talking about that? That's a good idea. There should be little platforming challenges here. You're kind of spitting with that idea. Anyways, watch me clean this window. Did I change the threshold on this yet? No, I keep telling myself I have to do that. I think I did. Is this shit still dirty? I didn't get any money for it. It's still dirty. What? I got invalid blueprint type enum base, currently only Uint 8 supported. Yeah, I think you'd have to do function calls to use any sort of, like, different enum. Some sort of function call that calls to the enum, but then your system's, like, very different. Alright, let's do the thing. Let's get the icons on the screen. Now that we have different colors... Now we just need the different icons. Yeah. Nice. I like that idea. I want more than 255 enums? You're a psychopath. You're a psychopath! Everything is green except for this one, which is orange/yellow. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's get some icons. I know... The design team, the design contractors, they're working on some icons and symbols. So I think what we'll do is we'll just whip up some shit and then, yeah, we'll whip some shit together. Anyways, I'm going to take one little short break again. Stretch a little bit. And then we'll work on the icons. That'll be the next step of the puzzle. I'll be right back. Okay. Write down the idea about the random falling pieces before you forget. True, true. Let me write that down somewhere. Random broken catwalks on exterior of train. I think that'll be sick. And that's probably something we could randomize quite a bit too. Especially the straight paths. I think on the train itself, we'll keep it fully operational just because I don't want to remodel that. But I think the... we can probably procedurally generate these, I think. Yeah. And I feel like that'd be great. Some of them could be completely just ripped off and broken. Some of them could be like slanted. They're like sticking out. I think we could do a lot of fun stuff there. Some of them might require you to be like along the edge. Maybe it's like randomly thinned out. Yeah. Yes. Very good. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's get the icons in. It's time. Library, my beloved. My beloved library. Nice. A can of soda. I gotta make it so we can actually interact and use these items now. There's no item, there's nothing we can interact with for the bolt cutters. Which I would like to make an interaction with this. Definitely would like to make an interaction for this. We could probably do that on the flatbed. We could have a couple containers that you can break open if you find bolt cutters. And then that'll give you access to some more items, which I think would be great. More little mini-game stuff I think will be very beneficial for the game. Coffee. Okay. Yeah, let's get icons on this bad boy. We're gonna do some very temp icons. Just because we're gonna get some actual proper symbols for that, I think, in the near future. Anyways, so I think we're gonna open up Affinity real quick. I think I can export things as singular. Let me go like this. I think I can export them all as their own things, pretty sure. Piece of shit I honestly, I don't like this program. I'm gonna be honest. I think Photoshop's better. I'm sorry. I think Photoshop is better. So we'll do circle for something that's not 100% like priority. We'll make it 64 by 64. And it'll just be a stroke. We have empty references though. Axis is none. Yeah, I gotta fix that. I think that's in the right hand, which I should be able to easily fix. I'm not too worried about it right now, currently. Okay, so this could be an indicator of something that needs to be cleaned. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my RPG icon kit, wherever that is. Where is that? Our RPG icons. Where is that found? I always get lost trying to find these icons because I don't know where I put them. Not very helpful. Not the most helpful thing in the world doing that. Which project has this stuff? Assets and downloads. This is the one that has a black background. Not very helpful for us. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. My head hurts. Oh. Where are these icons? Where it... Game icons pack. I think I found it. All right. What kind of things do we need? Electricity. Let's put this in here. We're just going to drag a bunch of icons in here that we feel like we might need. Where's my list of tasks? Okay. Toilet clog. Let's find a picture of a toilet. See if we can find an icon. Nope, toilet. Okay, no toilet. How about a poop icon? No poop. Unless I was searching this up incorrectly. Nope, I'm pretty sure. All right. Okay. I know some of these icons don't really have any proper names. So or it's a British name. What's another word for toilet? Like a lavatory? I think is a different word. Lavatory. A closet. Nobody calls it a closet. A water closet? No. And no. A bidet? Well, no, bidet is a different thing. That's like that's an attachment to a toilet. Hold on. We can find a toilet. I'm sure there's got to be a toilet icon somewhere around here. Oh, come on. There's got to be. There's got to be something in here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's got a bandage roll. Could use. Nah. I think a toilet's better. Like a side profile of a toilet. Your mom, Lamau. Mods, twist that man's nuts into a pastry, and then in every twist, put butter in between. And then turn him into a croissant. Yeah. What am I looking for again? Toilet, right? Yeah, toilet. Toilette. Use a poop icon? I want to use a poop icon, but I'm pretty sure they called it something different. What did they call it? Where is it? I need poop. But they didn't call it poop. Maybe they called it shit. What's the difference between is valid and validated get nodes? They basically do the same thing. It's just... I feel like to me the difference is more so how do you want your code to look? Your, like, blueprints. I feel like they basically do the exact same thing. For me, I like validated get sometimes, especially if I'm going to modify or read from the value directly after. Otherwise, if I'm not going to read from the value, but I need to know if it's valid, I just use is valid. So, yeah, that's kind of the difference for me. It's more so like the organization aspect of it. Turd? Do you think turd could be a thing? Hold on. We're scrolling through. There's got to be a poop somewhere in here, right? You can't tell me there's not a poop in here. There's got to be a poop in here, right? Some sort of poop. If you want free game icons, there's a cool website called gameicons.net. It's very handy if you want quick placeholder icons. Isn't this literally the game icons? I'm pretty sure this is the full game icon pack. Right now, I'm just looking to see if there's any other icons that we can maybe use in this pack specifically. So far, nothing really. Nothing that could be useful. Might have named it stool. Yeah, it's either stool or turd or shit or something. There's a lot of cool icons in here, however, none of them necessarily applicable for the maintenance tasks. Like, I'm trying to see, like, maybe if there's some interesting ones in here. There's not really anything interesting here. Poison bottle. I guess that could be poison gas. Could be something. Is there a rat in here? Any rat icons? We're at R. We're in the perfect spot for a rat. And nothing. No rats. I think rodent could be one of them. Seated mouse. Wait, hold on. This could be one for the thing, even though the rat's not a mouse, but whatever. It's kind of the same thing. Have I ever made a PvP shooter map? No. Well, no, not really. I don't think I'll ever make a PvP game. The closest I got was making like a couple Fortnite maps a long time ago. Did I hire someone to make those icons or what? They're making icons and symbols, and they're also working on some of the logos, like the company logo in the game, and then the logo for the actual game branding. And then they'll be helping with the employee handbook, which is this book on the basically a tutorial book. It helps you kind of keep track of like what things need to be done, or and how to do them, and kind of how to play the game. And then it'll also have some lore and stuff on any monsters that you encounter. So, yeah. And then I think they're helping with a few other things as well. Mostly anything design related. Oh yeah, propaganda. Propaganda posters. Yes. The propaganda posters. I don't think I'm necessarily seeing anything in here that's usable anymore. Not much else is usable in the context of the maintenance tasks. Let me double check this. Toilet clog, steam leak, gear arrangement, lever sequence, overheated vents, rat infestation, window cleaning, various other shits. Okay. Turd? Where do you see? Do you see a turd? I don't see a turd in here. I'm gonna have to search up turd. Turd was there? No way. It is there. Where did I download this pack? This is, I think it's literally called game icons. Free game icons or something. I'm just using these as temporaries. Temporary icons. Hey, a turd. Nice. Yeah, big turd. Huge turd. So we got a rat. Let me see if I can search up rat. 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 Oh, shit. I like that one a lot more. Actually, do I? And when it's small, it might not be very noticeable what it is. I think we can make do with that. Yeah. It's called placeholders, by the way. Yeah, they're temp. They're placeholders. Yeah. Okay, electrical wires. Let's see if I can search up some wires. Electrical. We could use this socket. I just don't like how it's filled. Let's use this one. This could be the electrical wire task. Then gear arrangement. We need some gears. Search up gear. Gear hammer. Gears. Ah! What else we got in here? Circuit break. Oh shit. That's the electrical. Steam leak. Steam? Steam blast. Steam. Steam locomotive. Steam punk goggles. Fracture. Puncture? Hole. Damage. Pipe. Oh, valve. Oh, I was expecting like a front view of a valve. Water? I don't know if water would make too much sense. I feel like that would be something different. I like the idea of a valve. It's just the thing is, let's see, gas? Maybe gas. No. I'm seeing if there's anything interesting in any of these. Peanut? Death skull. Uh-oh. We do need nuclear, but the nuke isn't in the game yet, so we don't really need it right now. Hydraulic is good? Which one? Hydraulic? Where's hydraulic? Where do you see that? I don't see it. Search hydraulic? Hydraulic. Nothing. The icons still have an attribution license? Yeah. They do. That being said, we're gonna swap them out. So neither way, I'm fine with putting them in the credits. That's not a big issue. I think we might just use the valve icon. Just say fuck it, whatever. We'll just use the valve. I was hoping for something different, but we just use that. What the hell? It's a bunch of abstract stuff. All right, let's just do the valve. Would have liked it to be structured a little differently, but it is what it is. Just type valve icon in Google. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of 2D valve black and white icons. It's fine. I'll just get from this pack because I already have it here. And then at least we just have something there for us. Lever sequence technically is because it's a brake. Uh-oh. Lever. I guess we could use this. It doesn't really look like a lever, but I guess we haven't even made that task yet, so it's not even in the game yet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Technically just 5. We have a few more that we need. Window cleaning. Cleaning. Clean. What? What's another word for cleaning? I don't want laundry. I need a soap. Sponge. Brush. Shit. Cleaning? Cleaning. Really? What would be a different word for cleaning? Janitor. Damn it. There is a soap one? Why can't I find soap? It's the experiment though. I don't really need soap experiment. Sounds weird, but the poop looks nice. It's a good looking poop, huh? Get the latest pack, maybe? Do I not have the latest pack? There's a vacuum cleaner, bathtub, soap experiment, washing machine, toothbrush. Oh, soap. How do I turn off the background? Okay, there we go. How do I what? Oh, transparent. Wait. Why is the icon black though? Uh-oh. All right, there we go. Soap. Okay. Bring the soap in. Hell yeah, we got ourselves some soap. So this could be like anything cleaning related. We could just reuse the icon. Yes. Yes, I think so. Yes. Oh, the word mop. Mop would have been a very good one too. Do they have that though? Nope, no mop. Sweep? There is a broom. Could have done the broom. But oh well. Oh well, whatever. What else do we need in here? Window cleaning, rat infestation, electrical wire matching, which kind of have. Overheated vents, lever sequence, gear arrangement, steam leak, toilet clog, and the circuit breaker. Okay. So let's go here. We need to go to the game state. So the power outage affects the state of the train. So we have the circle. Now we need a triangle. Okay. Can I lock this, please? I really hate clicking on it. You can still click on it, even if it's locked. Man, what? All right. I'm sure there's a setting somewhere to stop me from doing that. Yep. Okay. All right. So triangle. We're going to put the electricity in the triangle. That is not in the right spot. Okay, there we go. What else needs a triangle? I think the rat infestation. The fire is next. We don't have a fire icon. Let's change that. Even though the fire is actually not like in the game yet. It doesn't randomly generate. I don't like the look of any of these. I like this one. I'm cool with this one. Put this one in. Yes. I think this should be touching the bottom. Or maybe not. I feel like it'd look cool if it's touching the bottom. Nah. Never mind. We'll do that. Okay, that's fire. Next up is the toilet clog, which is the poop emoji. Or the poop. Not necessarily an emoji, but a poop. Put the poop in here. I feel like some of this can be clipping. I feel like it'd be okay if it did clip a little bit. Sure. It's just awkward because the triangle's so tall, man. We actually want to do with the poop? No, it's because we haven't put it in the game yet. But when the toilets in the game clog and you got to unclog the toilet, it's going to start spawning poop meshes. And then if you accidentally walk into those poop meshes, you slip. So it becomes a danger. It becomes a danger on that specific train. So that's why it's poop. Okay, steam leak. The steam leak was this one. Which is a bit of an awkward icon. Please play that goofy cartoon sound effect for slipping when it happens. Oh, 100%. You kidding me? You kidding me? Okay, next up we have the lever sequence, which is not in the game yet. There's a lot of things in the game that's not in the game yet. We haven't gotten to that point yet. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. Next up is the wire matching, which is this one. We do want to make this one a little bit smaller. Good, Voral. How's it going? Rat infestation is the next one. Oh, did I not put gear arrangement in? It would appear that I... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not get crazy here. Does look a little bit weird, but... yeah, that's alright. You'll smell. We do want to do like a whole status system thing. Like if your character starts smelling at some point, and I think the poop would be a great one for that. And you have to like you have to go take a shower and stuff. I do feel like that would add a lot to the game, having things like that. Have I always been using Affinity, or was it after they mentioned that it's free to use? I'm using the non-free version technically. I started using it because I was recommended it, and I kind of wanted to support them. I'm only using it right now because I ran out of my Photoshop license, and I'm kind of refusing to pick that up again, even though I probably will at some point in the future. I just think Photoshop is just better for me personally. Such as this. Randomly now, I have an arrow and I can't fucking move my thing. Like, why? Makes no sense. I've seen most people make status effects using gameplay tags, so it depends using that or enums, as you already said. I would say for things like status effects, yeah, I think that one would be a good fit for gameplay tags. I'm actually going to make the sphere smaller. I'm hitting Alt. Oh, it's Control. God, why do you gotta be a different button? I'm going to make the sphere slightly smaller because the triangle makes the icon smaller. And so by nature, I think it's better to actually do that. Otherwise, the sphere is going to look too large. Good, Jay. Now, the next question is, can I select a grouping of stuff and then only export that selection? Or that group. So this is cleaning. This is electricity. Fire. Toilet clog. I'm pretty sure I can export. At least I know in Photoshop I was able to do that. So steam leak, lever sequence, electrical wiring, and gears. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Well, I changed the icon color to yellow. Yeah, they're going to have different colors. I'm just going to... I like to export stuff as white because then I can export selection area, selection only. For some reason, this is 68 by 68 pixels. Even though I'm pretty sure we made this thing. Oh, the exterior stroke increased it to 68. Of course it did. Let's see if we can export it. Make it 64 by 64. Yes, we can. Okay, cool. And we could do selection area. Selection only. Sick. We're so in. Okay, export. T-symbol underscore gears. Actually, UI dash, what am I using as my naming convention for these icons? T underscore UI. I'll just do T dash, whatever. Okay. We're in. Now I can just export the selection. This is the electrical wiring. I actually wonder if I can export each folder as their separate thing, because I think I can do that in Photoshop. I'm sure I can maybe do it in here. Nope. Unless there's an export each as. Nope. That sucks. Means I got to do each one of these myself manually. I'm sure maybe there is a way of doing it, but I don't know how to. Good old-fashioned exporting. In Photoshop, there's a batch export, if I remember correctly, which is awesome. Maybe this has a batch export? What are these for? These are for the computer. The computer will show what kind of issue is in each car. Maybe export as template? Nope, that's definitely not it. Whatever. Then this one's fire. You can if you set up the export canvases in the first place, but I don't know the exact term for it. Why do they make it so... Why do they just use so much of their own terminology for everything? I don't understand why there needs to be so many different like terminology. It's like they're so hell-bent on being different than Photoshop. It's like, it's okay. It's okay to be similar. Prototyping yet another idea today. Brighter Shores versus OSRS. Like a game that's like in between Brighter Shores and OSRS. Or are you trying to say which one do you play? Yeah, I don't know if there is a batch export. At least not in file. Oh, new batch job? Whatever. I'm already done. I'm already done. By the way, I think that is exporting it. If I do 64, I think it's scaling it up. Can I do that without scaling it up? Balls. Balls. Why was there a squirrel in my ear? Do you guys hear that? What the hell was that? Oh, Brighter Shores tried hard to not be OSRS. Trying to avoid comparison at all costs. It's like, dude, good luck avoiding comparison when you're trying to make a game clearly inspired by... I just feel like that's just like you're trying so hard to go against the grain. You know what I mean? I don't know. You think about in which class to put widgets to create widgets. Some people use the HUD class and some player controller. For me, most of it is in the player controller, I think. That being said, I think it depends on the context of like what it is, right? I think most of it's player controller, pretty sure. Think Outlast, but in the ocean? Oh, so you mean BioShock? Oh shit, that looks sick. Oh yeah, that looks fucking cool as hell, man. Dude, hell yeah. You got to get like a tighter vignette in there to like make it even a little bit more claustrophobic, you know what I mean? That's cool as hell. I think that looks sick. That's a really cool idea, Jay. There's a lot of potential there. All right. Export the cleaning task. Swimming through caves with night vision and shit. Yeah, maybe finding some like underground like bunkers and stuff. That could be cool. Are you thinking of making it, well, based on the fact that you're thinking Outlast, I would assume that you're making it horror, right? I imagine you're taking a little bit of inspiration from what's this ocean game? Submarine. No, Subnautica. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think that looks sweet. I won't show it to the stream, but it looks very, very cool. It's got fish AI in it. Insane fish AI. Top of the line fish AI. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Do that again. Why is the background black? Okay, good. It's not. I was just going insane. Let's do a bulk edit real quick. Texture type. UI. Compression. Compression settings. User interface. Thank you. Done. Now, in the task instance, we have a border with an overlay. In the overlay, we want to do a grid box, a wrap box. Technically, this is supposed to be a lot smaller than it actually is. Whoops. I think I accidentally changed some stuff. Okay, now we're okay. This is not scaling properly. The whole plot would basically be a guy tells you about a potential big score, some buried treasure, and then maybe when you take the treasure, some shit starts haunting you. Ah, that's cool. So you could have an entire intro section. Are you thinking the entire thing would be underwater, or are you going to think of having some little moments where you're like walking around and stuff? Oh, you would have to, that technically have air. Okay, cool. So very, yeah, kind of realm of immersive sim. A little bit within the realm of immersive sim. Okay, so a wrap box, we'll put that in the middle. And then we want to start slapping in our images. This is going to be kind of annoying because we got to put literally every single one in here. And also kind of shit because I don't really want to do that, but... It is what it is. I think atmosphere alone as a project could make for a cool ass game. 100%, dude. I think it looks very, very cool. Damn, this is really not a smart idea, but fuck it. We should be adding these dynamically. we should probably be adding these dynamically, but that's fine. And then we have our last symbol in here, symbol cleaning, which is, by the way, not the right size. Do you know the answer why we can't cast to C++ actor classes? Because we can cast to C++ pawn and character classes, but not actor class. We can cast to C++ pawn and character classes, but not the actor class. I don't think when you're casting to a pawn or a character class, I think it is derived from a blueprint class. I think. Could be wrong. I feel like you should be able to cast to a C++ actor class. I think I've done that before. Yeah. I can. This is a C++ class. So you should be able to cast to a C++ class. Should be able to. I want to see what this looks like. Not good. Not good, not good. That being said, if you have this many issues in a car, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why are those looking like that? What? What the hell? System C++ classes. I'm not sure what those are, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what those are. Okay, that works better, but... they're like super pixel. Oh, wait. When you zoom in, it looks better. It's just the overlap where the car is not very good. Where the text is not bueno. Let's just assume that the player won't get to a point where literally everything is in a train car. This is worst case scenario. Everything is fucked. Time to do a bunch of renaming. I actually think it'd be faster if I just type it manually. I named it the wrong thing. Okay. That would be 90% of my games. Entire train explodes. What the hell happened? Entire train just absolutely just explodes. I'm actually kind of surprised because when we set the color and opacity of the entire widget, it's technically supposed to set the tint of these. But it's not. So I'm curious, if I set the color and opacity of this right now, of all of these, will it override it? I think it will. I'm pretty sure it will. And I'm actually kind of surprised that it's not reading any values. We could change that. Like, we could change it. So it only modifies the things we should be modifying, which honestly would probably be better anyways. But let's see how that looks. Maybe we can see something interesting. Next up. Let's do set task visibility. This might be incorrect. It's task type. Okay, task type. Reset all task visibilities. Reset all task visibility. Sure. Task, then we're gonna do a very weird select. You went live a lot later than usual today? Yeah, I've started going to the gym and I wake up really late and I have yet to yeah, I have yet to get what am I saying? Become better at waking up earlier. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So unfortunately, I've been waking up a lot later than I want to. Got fire, which we have to start implementing in the game. We have not implemented the fires yet. But I think before we implement the fires, we have to have a guarantee of spawning. We have to guarantee that we spawn fire extinguishers in areas where that's needed. We don't really have that system in yet. I believe that is currently all of them. Set task visible. Okay, so then the next one is reset all task visibility. So what we could do is get the wrap box, get the children, do a for each loop, set the visibility, and set it to collapsed. And then by default, the visibility of all of these will be set to collapsed. Okay, and then in the game state, in the task status, we want to set task visible. and that will be the task type. God, I really hate all these cables intertwining and whatnot, but whatever. So this should work. Actually, set all. Reset all task visibility. We have to make sure. So we do this in a very stupid way. Every single time we update the maintenance tasks, we are setting all of them to invisible, and then we're resetting them. Is that smart? No. Does it work? Yes. Are we keeping it? For now. It's kind of funny that working with blueprints is almost just plugging wires around. Yeah, it literally is. I feel like an electrician. I could put this shit on my resume. Do you think they would concur? Or do you think they'd be against that? I don't care. Did you just answer all your own questions? Yeah, I kind of do ask a lot of rhetorical questions on this stream. I do be doing a lot of rhetorical questioning here. Is rhetorical the word where you ask a question, but you're not actually asking for an answer? Aha! So there's now a gear arrangement issue. Yes. I don't know, I'm too dumb. Don't say that about yourself, you motherfucker, you stupid asshole. We have a rat infestation. We have another problem. And the power went out. Cool. All right. I like it. The symbol is a little close to the text. A little too close to the text. You guys see what I'm talking about? Maybe we put the error in the top left corner. All of the errors appear in the top left corner rather than the center. If you're asking yourself a lot of questions, that means you're smart. Yeah. I do be asking a lot of questions. What about stacking the symbols above the car? Like above it? We could. We could. I want to see what it looks like when something has a task that's not... hold on. Let's speed up time. Electricity has gone out in car 2. Fuck! A steam leak is in car 3. Okay, this looks cool now. It looks, the computer's a lot cooler now because it's like it shows you like all the little errors in there. I feel like that looks cool. I like that a lot. Jimmy, there's a problem in stage 3. Car 3. Shit. I wonder if he'd be better if we take the text and move it below. Not inside of the car, but below the car. I need to see what it looks like when we have a window cleaning task that needs to be done. Yeah. There should be a window cleaning task in one of these. But where? There are rats in car 3, there's a steam leak, and the electricity's out. We have a gear issue in the engine, rats, and a leak. Okay. This is cool. This is looking really cool. Never mind. I guess fuck me then. Please break something in the other cars. Break something in the other cars. Do not select the engine car. Do not select the engine car. Electricity is going out throughout the entire train. Things are not looking good in the train right now. What does even being smart mean? That's a really good question. Oh shit, the window cleaning is red. That's okay-ish. That's okay-ish. Once we fixed... Yeah, that's alright. What's next to us? That is a cargo. What's in car 5? Okay, let's go fix the electricity and... I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm getting in there. I'm running. We need energy drinks so I can increase my stamina. What's the difference between circle and triangle tasks? Triangle tasks are... cause the quota to go up. Circle tasks are something you can finish, but is not necessarily required. It's just something that gives you extra cash. I'm in the wrong car. There's also rats in here. Yeah, they're kind of like side quests. Yeah, exactly. Which car is this in? Car 4? Where's the electricity for this? I don't even remember. Now we gotta start using these icons actually as decals. Now I think about it. They're gonna be used as decals on the train. To show... I hope the power doesn't go out by the time I don't think it should, because it should have a cooldown. Yo! Ah. Show me the Oh, the fucking toilet clogged! Oh, come on. Oh, my God. That's it. Spawn a fire extinguisher. Watch this. They don't teach you this in school. There's a bomb. Please, no one walk in the room while I'm unclogging the toilet. All right. Okay, hold on. I'll be right there. There's rats everywhere. Yes, it's orange. It's like a different shade of orange. It's like orange, but also not orange. It's orange 2. It's like a different orange. It's orange the sequel. It's like yellow orange. I think... Okay, I think we can leave the icons as white. Now hear me out, because I think the color of the entire thing is set to a different color. So I think we can just set all of these to white. And I think that's fine. Let's speed up time. I don't got time for this. Power goes out in 3, 2, 1. Oh, nope, never mind. There we go. Cleaning task, same color. Yes. Nice. All right. Yeah, nice. Yeah, true. Nice. So you can see there, those tasks impact the quota. That being said, you can kind of ignore the rats. Because they only increase the quota requirement by 1. They are really fucking annoying, though, I gotta say. It's... they talk so much! Need a hammer to slam those bitches? That would be so funny, dude. Yeah, for sure. We do need a way to travel around the train faster. I'm thinking we make them upgrades. Like you can in the run, when you get to a shop, you can buy certain upgrades like teleporters, or being able to use the item delivery system to deliver yourself to the front of the train. So providing different ways of doing transport, I think, could be really good. Because yeah, running back and forth, not the most enjoyable things in the world. However, I do think it should be like an upgrade. Because otherwise, if you can just keep teleporting, you know, or running around really quickly, the horror aspect, I feel like, kind of goes out the window a little bit.
I am the rat.
We do need different ways of killing the rats, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, listen, throwing them off the train is fun and all, but like, it gets kind of annoying. We need a different way of... Listen. Bring the shovel in. Goodbye. Oh, hey. Yeah, you are. See you later. I see you. Yep. Changing the rat sounds was the best decision I ever made. Vacuum them up and blow them into the furnace? That's insane that you said that. That's a great idea. I love that. A vacuum cleaner as an item would be so funny. Hey, peace out, Invar. Have a good one. I'm probably gonna head out here, actually, because it's like 3 hours and a half. I feel like we did a good amount of work today. Well, did we? I don't know. Did we? Kinda. Sorta. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. What the? Thanks for lurking, chatting, sticking around. I'm gonna eat something because I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of hungry. Yeah. The game is slowly coming together. I think we're reaching a point now where, well, one, we can mark this as complete. Hell yes. Two, we're getting very close to playtesting. I think we're getting very close. Tomorrow, on stream tomorrow, I think we're going to get started on the new cars and get those going. Hell yeah. 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 So, on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for looking, chat, and sticking around. And I'll see you then. Hope you have a great day, night, whatever time it is for you. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to go eat something because I'm extremely hungry. All right. Goodbye.